Fables of La Fontaine. The Eagle and the Owl. The eagle and the owl had treaty made, ceased quarreling, and even had embraced. One took his royal oath, and undismayed, the other's claw upon his heart was placed. Neither would gulp a fledgling of the other. "Do you know mine?" Minerva's wise bird said. The eagle gravely shook his stately head. "So much the worse," the owl replied. "A mother trembles for her sweet chicks, she does, indeed. It's 10 to 1 if I can rear them then. You are a king, and therefore take no heed of who or what. The gods and lords of men put all things on one level. Let who will say what they like. Adieu, my children dear, if you once meet them." "Nay, good ma'am, but still describe them," said the eagle. "Have no fear. Be sure I will not touch them, on my word." The owl replied, "My little ones are small, beautiful, shapely, prettier far than all. By my description you will know the dears. Do not forget it. Let no fate by you find way to us and cause me ceaseless tears." Well, one fine evening, the old owl away, the eagle saw upon a rocky shelf, or in a ruin, who cares which I say, some ugly little creatures. To himself the eagle reasoned, "These are not our friends, moping and gruff, and such a screeching too. Let's eat them. Waste time never spends the royal bird. To give the brute his due, and when he eats to tell the truth." The owl, returning, only found the feet of her dear offspring. Sad, but yet it's sooth. She mourns the children young and dear and sweet, and prays the gods to smite the wicked thief that brought her all the woe and misery. Then some one said, "Restrain thy unjust grief. Reflect one moment on the casualty. Thou art to blame, and also nature's law, which makes us think our own the best. You sketched them to the eagle as you saw. They were not like your portrait. Am I just?" And there you have it. The eagle and the owl. What's this all about? Well, the eagle and the owl made a pact. The eagle said, "I will not eat your fledglings, your young birds, and you will not eat my young birds." So they agreed. And then the owl said, "Oh, well, you know how terrible it would be if my birds were eaten by you." And the eagle says, "Don't worry about that. I keep my promises. I'm not going to eat your birds." And the owl goes, "Well, you know, you're a king. You can do what you like. It makes no difference who or what. You're basically the king of the birds, so I know you can eat them, but please don't." And the eagle, "No, I won't eat them." And the owl, do you know what they look like? Have you ever seen them?" And the eagle says, No, I've never seen them." So the owl describes her chicks to the eagle. So she says, "Oh, my little ones are small, beautiful, shapely, prettier far than all." So, oh, they're so beautiful, they're so wonderful. If you saw them, you'd fall in love with them. They're adorable. So the eagle goes, okay, no problem. If I see these beautiful little baby birds, I'll leave them alone. So one day, the eagle goes on a rocky shelf or an old ruined building, and he sees these ugly little creatures that are screeching, and they look terrible. So he says, oh, what are these? Well, obviously these aren't baby owls, owlets, because, I was told that her children are so beautiful. These disgusting little fluff balls. Ugh. Oh well, I might as well eat them then. So he eats all the baby birds, and then he flies away. And the mother comes home and sees a bunch of feet in the nest. So she cries and cries and prays to the gods to get revenge on this terrible thief that came and ate her baby birds. And then someone said, hey, what are you talking about? You can't blame the eagle. You described these birds to the eagle. You said they were beautiful and shapely and wonderful and the cutest things ever. That's your opinion. You're the mother. You think your children are the best. Most parents think their children are wonderful. You listen to some of these parents talking about their wonderful, fantastic children, and then you meet these kids and you're like, what? Dirty, ugly, stupid kids, and these parents are just gushing over how wonderful they are. So I never did that. I never gushed over my children, even though I know my children are wonderful and fantastic and their actions speak for themselves. But I don't tell that to people. But when my colleagues and friends and people I know meet my kids, they find out for themselves what my kids are like. And my kids speak for themselves. So I'm not one of these parents. So anyway, they say to the eagle, yeah, you described your children as basically perfect, and if anybody's ever seen an eaglet, baby eagles are not beautiful. So it's not the eagle's fault. The owlets, not eaglets, the baby owls are not beautiful. So anyway, this brings to mind the saying, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And to a certain degree, this is true. But scientifically, they have determined what is unequivocally beautiful. Symmetry of the face and symmetry of the body. That means this side, if it looks the same as this side, that's a sign of good genes. It's a sign of health. It's an indicator of strength and health and fitness. So naturally, everybody finds that beautiful. Also, if you look healthy and you don't look sickly, if your skin is clear, these are all indicators of health. These are indicators of beauty. Beauty marks. Certain other things indicate beauty. Everybody agrees on these. They're universal. So to a degree, yes, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but by and large, there are certain traits that everybody finds beautiful. Being in shape. People find that more beautiful than being out of shape, for instance. In men, a strong jawline, things like that. If you look strong and fit and tall and you can provide, if you look like you can work and fight off enemies and things like that, and dangerous animals if you look capable. But people say, oh, no, that's not true. Everybody has a different standard. Well, that's not true. Yes, there is some variation, but what I mentioned are universal. So, it's true that a parent's worst fear is that their children will be taken away from them. As a father, this is my greatest fear, and hopefully my children won't be taken away from me. But being a father and family courts and things like that, it's very hard to get a fair hearing in family court. And it's very easy for mothers to take children away from fathers, sadly. And it's absolutely terrible. But there's very little that can be done about that until the child is old enough to determine where they want to be. And then ultimately, doesn't matter what the courts say. Once the child is old enough to determine, they can determine for themselves. But hopefully it doesn't get to that. But basically, to get back to this story, you have to try to see things objectively. So, having a mother describe her child, obviously she's going to describe the perfect child. But this is not giving the eagle a clear picture, so it's really not his fault. Anyway, that's basically the story. There's more I could say on this, but this video is getting rather long, and I'm very tired, and I have a stressful day to prepare for tomorrow. So I'm going to cut it short. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any comments, anything you'd like to add, down below, please. And until next time, goodbye. Love you. Be strong. Hopefully tomorrow will be a better day.